So I'm always saying start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. So I figured I would take some me own medicine, as it were. So, so I am Cassandra Xavier, also known as Amethyst Ra, Amrita Waterfalls, and Endowed Goddess. I want to talk about um, my eating disorder and also bipolar disorder and how they go together. Um, so in this book called The Bipolar Survivor Handbook by a guy whose name I don't recall. It was the third revised edition that I read. A marvelous book. It contains a chapter specifically addressing women's issues, and women have specific needs. First of all, we have different chemistry, and I want to thank Barbara Streisand for bringing that to my attention. She's the reason for the Mount Sinai um, Center for Women's Cardiac Health, or whatever that's called. So she, as often happens with artists, we hear about things, we feel very passionate about it, and then we do what we can to make a difference. And so she had heard about how women, um, is this a tangent? This might be a tangent. Women have different heart attack symptoms than men do. So this was news years ago, and women were not studied really. The studies were done on men. Then the medication, all the treatments were kind of geared towards those symptoms, and then later it was discovered that women's heart attacks look totally different. So that begat a whole thing, and now we're on a different and better track, which is very important since heart disease is the number one killer of women, from what I understand. So as relate to bipolar disorder, this book had a chapter in it about women's issues and needs. That might not be the exact title, but of that. But I hope it isn't, because that's a title of one of my living with bipolar disorder articles on Wisdom Magazine at wisdommagazine.com, which I wrote about. So anyway, one difference about women with bipolar disorder is we have this pregnancy issue. And Kay Jamison Redfield shared how, in her book, Touched by Fire, one of the earliest books on bipolar disorder out there, and about how when she was advised not to have children because of the issue of medication, she could have had children actually, and she was given bad advice. It's possible that that advice was considered good at the time with the medication, with the technology there, and in knowledge that existed at the time. It was thought that women should definitely stay on their medication no matter what, and there was nothing that could be done about pregnancy if you had bipolar disorder that really required serious medication. You just didn't have children. You didn't give birth because you had to stay on your meds, and meds would hurt the baby. So that's really sad that it turns out she could have actually had children. So that's one issue that we have, is pregnancy, and how do we do that with our medication, and all the new things, the developments that have come about that make it so that women with bipolar disorder have many more options, which is a beautiful thing. Um, and then it talked about certain things, certain features that women with bipolar disorder tend to have, and one of them is eating disorders. Yay! I'm thrice blessed. I have the bipolars, I have the PTSDs, and I'm also a binge eater, lifelong compulsive overeater. So I wanted to talk about that today, in that right now, as I speak to you now, I'm having acid indigestion because I overate, and I also had some cheese at the end of my meal, as if I didn't need any more volume in my stomach area, plus some fat as well. And so, and I'm not taking antacids right now because I take my birth control pill at 6 p.m., and I'm concerned that the antacids will render that null and void, or make it not work. So I really need an antacid. So hopefully, maybe in an hour or two, I will take it anyway. I don't know. but I have a history of gastritis, GERD, and I've been in the hospital. I went to the emergency room for it once. Um, I've been on two medications for it. And it makes sense after tearing up my stomach with overeating every single meal for 50 years. Something's got to give, right? So I guess I'm sharing that the reason I want to talk about this is because I'm realizing lately that I have shame around my eating disorder. I find that I don't talk about it that much, and one reason I don't talk about it, first of all, there's the shame about having I I need a separate video for this, but there's shame around eating too much. There's shame around that, being seen as a glutton. And then there's shame because I already have other mental health issues. So I feel like how many is she going to add on, like how messed up is she, right? Because the places that I post are places that I also date. So I'm kind of concerned about maybe making myself look less sexy. So, it's one thing to have bipolar disorder. That's bad enough, right? Surrender someone and, ineligible. I know, I'm sure some of you are thinking, right, beard has nothing to do with it. No, it really doesn't. Like, it really doesn't. Because, if somebody likes me, they like me, and the beard is either going to be more or it's going to be better. So, yeah, if they weren't gonna like me, they weren't gonna like me, and yeah, but that's for another tale, another story, another time. So I'm proud of myself. Another reason I wanted to share this update is because I wanted to share for three reasons. One, to compare, to show how the bipolar and the binge eating come together. They're connected. Oh my gosh. And two, because there's some shame there and I wanted to air it and share it because I'm sure people can relate. And three, I wanted to share positive news. I was at Walmart Pharmacy today picking up prescriptions and I was tempted to buy two snacks, one salty snack and one sweet snack. The Walmart brand of Cheez-Its, which I like, and gummy bears or some kind of gummy snack. And I chose not to because the Cheez-Its, while I love them, they are salty and they make me feel bad because I have hypertension. I'm on three medications for that. They make me feel bad when I eat them, but they're so darn tasty. And then the gummy bears, I love them, but they're too sweet. They're sugary, and sugar is not good for me either. And they both make me feel bad. And so I did the self-loving thing of leaving the gosh darn store without purchasing those things. I only walked out of there with my two prescriptions and that was it. And I felt very loved, very embraced by myself, by my own self. And that was a wonderful thing. So I wanted to share that, and I feel really good about it. And I'm really happy. So I'm gonna go now before my tablet makes the decision for me. Hi, Beard. My beard wants to say hi. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for listening. Oh, and be good to yourself because you're worthy of that and so much more. Thanks. Bye. Oh, right. And if you relate to any of this, please leave it in the comments and yeah, and share your thoughts and feelings. Thanks. Bye.